All right, welcome back. This is week 4, and good week. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer. So you can see this week it was a little kind of stagnant, right? In the end, we ended up gaining around 2% this week, so that's pretty good. But you can see it was a little weird. So here you have the dollar performance and similar thing. Over here is the last week. So last week we had the big gain and then decreased a little, and then ended up around 7%. This week we increased a little, has a little bit of volatility in here, and then these paid off, and then we ended up 2% off. So here we have Nasdaq. You can see the gap is slowly closing. Last week was here we ended on the 1st of January, right around there. So you can see it was a quite wider the gap, and now it's getting closer. So it's just a matter of time. At the moment, I'm holding all cash. So, if this goes down on Monday, then we might be outperforming. Over here, we have so this week was 195, 2%, and then Nasdaq did gain a little, but very little, and we outperformed 2 out of the 5 days. Over here, we can see it barely increased, and then overall, it's around 2% higher. Over here, you have the S&P. So you can see here last time, it kind of the gap was quite big over here, and then now it got quite smaller. So it's just slowly getting there. Around exactly. So okay, this week, so SPY finally did lose a little, and we did outperform 3 out of the 5 days. But we are around 2% now, underperforming. Now, after hours, I think it did go down a little, so around closer to 1.9, 1.8. And yeah, so and our thing outperformed total days did increase by quite a bit. Over here, you basically have so here you have Dow Jones. Dow Jones is kind of like our best one because it just straight up went up, and now it's finally decreasing. And this week it did fall the most, so negative 0.55. And we did also outperform 3 out of the 5 days. And let's see, so over here you can see it did increase by 31.6. And the overall is around 3% below, so I'm not really too worried about Dow Jones, but just we'll see. Over here, comparison also, you can see finally SPY and Nasdaq. Nasdaq is slightly below SPY, and then you have Dow Jones at the top. So, yeah. Overall, we increased this by quite a bit. You can see the last day we gained a big 5% here, and then these were some 3% and then -1. So these were kind of some big losses, but this kind of was expected, so it paid off. Again, these were kind of in the middle. So here you have each week. So the first week we outperformed all of them, and then the second week we outperformed SPY and Dow, and then the third day had a big loss here, unexpected, and then over here, kind of this loss actually became neutral in after hours, so it was close to zero. But this day we ended around zero, and then over here we had some big gain. Whoa, did I skip something? No. Over here, so we're kind of getting it up here. This was kind of just from that bad week, but we're slowly increasing our green days, and I think it's okay. So our profitable, we increased it by 5%, so that's pretty good. And then we did decrease a little bit our gains, 2.8, but 2.8 is very high. I think around the other sheet that I have, that's like since September, it's around 1 something, so this is quite good. And then our losses are also a bit higher, -1.4, but they did increase slightly, but then, our gains also decreased quite a bit. Standard deviation almost the same. And then the S&P did actually lose some of its gains, and it also did increase some of its losses, so similar to us. Then we have the standard deviation did stay the same. And then here you have the comparison. So we're still, in a way, managing our gains and losses better. So that's good. And then our loss could be -2.4, and at the moment it's -3.9. So, we can still increase that by quite a bit and still have this equal. Or we could decrease our gain by around more than 1%. So, yeah. The difference from last week was 1.26, so a lot, and this week it's around 0.8, so that's still pretty good. We want it to be a equal or positive difference, and that anything equal or positive is good. And then our standard deviation kind of seems to be leveling out around here. Mean transactions 116, and then this also increased by a little bit. It's like I think 1 day or two. not much. And then the week's fees, instead of putting a dollar value here, I'm gonna just make a percentage of how much it is. So 0.66% of profits. Um, Now actually, this is already taking the like the values I have of like the percentage return is already after fees, so that value is already taken into account there. Um, and so like this is kind of just like to give us an idea of like how much is actually taking. And then here we have the overall return from last week, so around 2% more. And yeah, we have 1 week ahead of us, 1 full week, and then seems like the volatility is kind of stopping, but I don't know, anything's unexpected. So yeah, see you.